Good morning, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing well this morning. I hope everyone's having a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Breaking Dawn in, now we're yawning. Goodness me, it is early for some. It is 7 a.m. in the UK, but it is 10 a.m., 11 a.m. here in the UAE, guys. And I'm glad to have you on board. Guys, before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like, of course, guys. All that lovely, sweet, cushy stuff, guys. Really appreciate every one of you who's come on board this morning, of course. You know what? To liven up your day and to get the day started and in a positive Manchester United mood, because it is match day, guys. That is what it's about. It is a match day, and I'm so excited to be bringing you the watch along later on between Manchester United and Power FC, of course. Great match ahead, of course. And hopefully, Man United will score some nice goals, of course, guys. Let me just answer this real quickly and get through some of your messages, if I don't mind. Let me just get this up and running, of course. Yeah, there we go. So let's get through some of your messages, if I may. Good morning, Rasta. Bless up yourself. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. The games begin. Absolutely, the games begin. We're starting to get in the mood, Rasta, ain't we? We're starting to get in the mood. I'm looking forward to a fantastic, of course, game tonight. A game where we should be winning 4-5-0. Some are saying 4-5-0. The game should be 4-5-0. The game should be like that. Do you know what? It doesn't always work out that way for Manchester United, does it? It doesn't really work out that way. But I want to talk today about a couple of things about Manchester United, of course, as we do, guys. Basically, Ruben Amorim is basically urging Manchester United to chase Giovanni Quenda, the 17-year-old midfielder for Sporting Lisbon, is high on Manchester United's radar, along with Ignacio and Ousmane Diomande. So there are a number of players that Ruben Amorim is looking to bring into the club. One of which, of course, it would come in January. Manchester United are also after Lille's David, who scored a lot of goals over the last couple of years in Europe, of course, especially during this last couple of years in Europe and obviously in the league. He's highly underrated, of course, guys. And you know what? I would say that he would be a very, very good signing for Manchester United. I would, as a striker. He is deemed a backup striker, a backup option for Manchester United, and a very, very good, quick, young player that we could be after. Another player, but he could be arriving in January. Manchester United are looking to make a move in January. Guys. So Man United are looking to bring in another striker in January. What do you think about that? Is there other positions that need more urgent attention, like the left back position, for example? What do you think of that? Absolutely. Big up, of course. Big up, Kazi. Good morning, bro. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you back. No voice. What's a no voice? Bad Advance said, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I've got no voice. Oh, yeah, that's all right. As long as I had a voice in the end. 1 second. Let me just see this. Yeah. So as I've been talking about, Manchester United are interested in Jonathan David. Jonathan David, who plays for Lille as a striker. A very prolific striker, guys. He's very good, as we know. Hello, everyone. Big up Sanjay. Of course, big up Sanjay. Come on, United. Big up United. Come on. Absolutely. No, absolutely, yeah. Sal, I'm now going to stop watching football for the next 3 months and only watch highlights. I will not be opening YouTube as well. Right now, I'm wasting a lot of time, and now I must work hard. Mad Advance said, I respect your decision, mate. If you can't watch football, that's up to you. You need to concentrate on your studies, of course, mate. Do you know what? That is what life's about. For some. Thank you, Sal, and bye. I am back supporting your channel after February. Thank you, Mad Advance Sid, for all your support. I look forward to seeing you, my friend. I look forward to you. Thank you for letting me know as well. It's absolutely kind, of course. Lille is the new Ajax. Lille is the new Ajax. I feel sorry for teams like Lille. I feel sorry for teams like Ajax and teams like Sporting Lisbon who lose their managers, who lose their players. Of course, you know what? It must be horrible supporting those clubs because you can never get ahead, can you? You can never get ahead of the game, you know, in regards to, because you always lose your best players. You always lose your best managers. It's mad, isn't it? And I feel sorry for these guys. I really do. I feel sorry for them. I mean, if it happened to Man United, it's happened to us a couple of times with Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, guys. We know how that felt. And it must be horrible when you're getting into a rhythm, when you're trying to be successful, and then obviously you lose your best player or your best manager. Left back and a striker, definitely. I agree. But one thing I would say, and I'm going to say this really loudly, guys. Rasmus Højlund is a good striker. He needs supply. No striker is going to come into this football club and score goals the way things currently are. We have to believe in Rasmus Højlund. We have to believe in Obi Martin as well. Let's not forget Chido Obi Martin. We have to believe in them. We have to believe that Ruben Amorim can turn Manchester United, Rasmus Højlund and Obi Martin into the likes of Gyökeres. Gyökeres was not wanted by Brighton. He was sold cheaply by Coventry City. So, you know what? Why can't Ruben Amorim make his own players? Why can't he make Rasmus into that guy? Why can't he make Obi Martin into that guy? What's the difference? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I believe that Rasmus has a high ceiling. I do. I believe in his talent. He just needs to be nurtured the right way and played the right way with players who deliver for him, players who set up goals for him, which is important, of course. Of course, guys, absolutely. That's what I would say. Let me just put the link down there. Anyone want to join the stream, you're more than welcome today, of course, guys. But yeah, that's what I would say. Let's have a look. When you get away with successfully and your history is not strong enough, other clubs take your players and staff until unless you... it's all to do with money, man, I've answered. It's just money. Sporting Lisbon's history is illustrious. It is an illustrious history. Ajax history, they have more European Cups than us, bro. They have 4 European Cups. Their history is more illustrious than us. It's all to do with money. It's all to do with the pulling power of wages and things like that, you know. Obviously. Yeah, but you know what? I mean, there is a lot of good noises coming out of Man United at the moment. I'm enjoying what's coming out of Man United. All the news that's coming out of Man United in regards to signings and transfers, etc. I'm enjoying it at the moment. I really am, and I can't wait till the next season. I can't wait till Amorim actually walks through the door on November the 11th from Monday, isn't it? Sunday on Monday he'll be walking through the door. Of course, absolutely. I can't wait for it. I really can't. And you know what? We'll have to wait and see what goes on. We're going to have to see what's going on, my friends. Let me have a look at this. 1 second. I'm going to get some people on the show today. Let me get my friend, of course, Rasta on the show. The legend, of course, one of the originators, my friend. Absolutely. Let me just get this on. Let me just close this up. If I don't mind. Yeah. Big up, bro. What's going on?
What's up, Sal?
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm laying in bed so that I'm not turning on my camera. Here's my honest opinion, right?
Yeah.
First things first, big up everybody in the chat. Big up Sal. The 4-1 defeat to City was very biblical. You remember when Arsenal played against City and they drew? Erling Haaland said, "Stay humble, eh?"
Yeah.
City, stay humble, eh? Stay humble, eh? Yo, that penalty that Haaland missed. Yes, man. You see the look on every City player's face. I want that to sink in. I want that to sink in. I want them to remember when we start cooking. You're gonna see some 4-1s. You're probably gonna see some 4-0s. But I'm not overhyping anything. I'm just gonna be very patient. But honestly, the only tournament cup tournament we should be focusing on right now is the Europa League. Honestly, I don't care about the EFL Cup. I don't care about the FA Cup. The Europa League is the only thing we should be focusing on. And that's just my honest opinion. Some people might disagree with me, but I just feel like we just need to be patient too, because we can't expect this manager to come in and just 1, 2, 3, everything is gonna work right away, right? I feel like this is an Ineos appointment. Big up. This is an Ineos backing, right? So they knew from the jump that they wanted this guy, but we wasted about 25% of the season already, right? So this is my hypothetical thinking, Sal, right? if we could finish in the top six, and win the Europa League, and then the next season after that, we just start challenging for the top four. Shall based on their plan, they want to win the league by 2028. We could probably win the league before that. So I don't know how many fans will agree with me when I say let's forget about the two cup tournaments and focus on the Europa League and actually give this manager time, because the mistake was on Ineos as not signing him in the summer. I felt like this is it, right? I felt like in the summer when Eric Ten Hag won the FA Cup, that's when they should have just pulled the trigger, right? But I don't know who agrees with me or not, Sal. That's just my logical thinking right now.
I think obviously everything in hindsight is completely different to what we expected.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Jim Ratcliffe has already said he's extremely angry at the fact that we didn't pull the trigger, and obviously it was adjudicator who made the decision of obviously Wilcox and Barada and all these people made the decision to get rid of to keep Eric Ten Hag, and now in hindsight it was a bad decision, but
Mm-hmm.
looking back. Now I would say, would we have got Ruben Amorim then? Would we have got someone else? Because I personally think we got the right man for the job. I think we got a
Mm-hmm.
man who's been at the club for 10 years now, 15 years, I believe. Hopefully, touch wood, it is, because I'm tired of this changing managers every starting again and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were rumors about a number of other managers during the summer. They were talking to Xavi, they were talking to Nagelsmann, they're talking to Southgate as well, So
Hell
my
no.
opinion is that sometimes things just work out. Sometimes fate has a funny way of showing itself. And it maybe it was the right time. Because now we knew 100% that Eric Ten Hag was not up for the job. Whether it's him, I don't think it's fully him. I think it's the players as well. And this is one thing I'm worried
True.
about in regards to the going forward is some of
True.
those
True.
mercenaries. Those people within the team, as you said, they're duds. Some of them, they're scrubs. Do you know what I mean? Some of
Yes.
those players.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
I'm talking about 6 or 7.
So,
So
so,
is he
so,
going to be given the power to get rid of these players? That's the
so,
thing.
Sal, this is the thing. This is the thing. If you don't have the power, but regardless of whether their contracts say he's a coach, if he say you're not playing, that means you're not going to play, right? And Sal, for me personally, I'm glad that we don't have Garrett Southgate. I forgot which team Garrett Southgate used to play. I remember I seen a clip of Roy Keane stomping on him.
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace. Roy Keane stomped on him. Honestly, I don't understand how you got the manager of England. You have like very good players from different clubs. And I said, yo, listen, I'm like, why is he playing Trent Alexander Arnold on the right in the midfield and Trent Alexander Arnold is a right back? I said, in what world that makes sense? But whatever. And I said, listen, if this man does not win England the Euros, because you bring them to 2 finals and does not win them the Euros, it's either he should leave the job or he's going to get sacked. And truth be told, he voluntarily left. I don't want Garrett Stinkgate nowhere or a club. I don't want him to even come watch a game because I don't want his bad juju start rubbing off on the club. Right? But
Trust me.
all I can say, Sal, is listen. Ineos, they had to learn the hard way. They had to learn the hard way. And what I said earlier about Europa League and finishing in the top 6, to me, that's realistic in a way, right? And honestly, Sal, some of these players like Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Anthony, Maguire, and who else? Who else?
I think Rashford needs to be gone.
Oh yeah, Rashford. I want them. don't get no idea. Oh, I'm gonna get another chance for this manager. I want this manager to come in. Yes, you'll get a chance, but if you don't get selected, select me personally. You know who I don't want to see play? All of a sudden, Sal, remember you said this a couple weeks back. All of a sudden, you're gonna start seeing players available. Luke Shaw, that I rather Malasia get more time than Luke
Bro, have you
Shaw.
heard the news? Have you heard the news that all the players are miraculously fit for the Ipswich Town game on the 25th, on the 24th of November? Miraculous. It's been months, a year since we've had the first team available. Don't you think that's a bit of a coincidence?
Yes, bro. Yo, Sal, and let me ask you a question. How many games has Luke Shaw played for us?
I mean, it's easier to say how many he hasn't played. I mean, I
Yeah,
know
yeah. How many games he
he's
hasn't
missed.
played?
I mean, he's missed 5 years of football, which is 300 games. This guy,
Okay,
you know,
okay. And he's been getting paid his salary, right?
yeah. And he
So
played for England. That's the thing. He played for England in
yeah.
the summer. And he's not the first time he's done that. He played it obviously in the Euros in 2021. He played in the World Cup as well in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
2018, he played in the World Cup. But every time it seems to come from Man United, he's not available for the club.
Sal, and this is what I say. We don't have world class players no more. We have scrubs.
Yeah.
And honestly, Sal, people must have saying to me, "Oh, you're too harsh. Luke Shaw is injured. This and this. How many times he's gonna pull the injury? How many times? It's either listen, you go to United, say rip up your contract. You want to go play somewhere else where you don't have to do much work. Because listen, I tell people these players have a lot of money, but this is what they call milking the clock. And honestly, Sal, I rather see Malasia get more game time than I want Luke Shaw to live, eat, sleep on that bench. Honestly, to God, I don't care. Oh, when he's fit, he's the best left back in the world. I don't care about none of that, man. All of a sudden, you're miraculously healed. You're miraculously ready. Give me a
It's true though,
break.
and you know what? The only time Luke Shaw started to play well is when Malasia came into the team. He started to perform well, you know, just to show himself. And you know, but since Malasia's been injured, he thought I'm going to be injured as well. I'm going to take a back seat as well, and that's the issue with these players. You know, I really do hope that Ruben Amorim has been informed. I hope that he's aware of what's going on in regards to these players, Mason Mount, you know, Luke Shaw, all these players who
Yes.
haven't played for years.
Oh, thanks for reminding me, Sal, about Mason Mount. That scrub. That guy. I don't understand how Matthias Delict bust his head open, bust his head, and he was ready for the next match.
Ready for the same game. He's ready to go on the pitch. He
Ready.
wasn't even go on the pitch.
To me, right there, that guy should be captain. Honestly, I say take the captaincy from Bruno. Take it from Bruno because you. To me, Bruno is it's too emotional for me.
Yeah.
He's just too emotional for me, Sal. And honestly, Sal, that I don't want to see us buying no more Chelsea rejects. No more Chelsea rejects. And one thing I say in the January transfer window, if we could get a seasoned striker, or if a seasoned striker on a loan to help Rasmus and the other strikers we have, yes. But I employ Ineos. I don't know if they're listening to our videos or whatever, or they listen. You see that buyback clause we have for that our player at Benfica? We need to activate that, because I'm telling telling you, Sal, I'm on fraud watch with Ineos and these players. I'm on fraud watch. I will
Bro, there's
not
no more
let up
excuses,
on
man.
them.
How many times? Like now, look, the good thing about the other night against Man City and Sporting Lisbon is that we've seen their formation and the tactics work. Right, we've seen it work right before our eyes. Like the tactics absolutely school Manchester City.
Hmm.
We know now that it's going to take time. It's not going to be overnight. I know he's going to play three at the back with a 4 and a 2 and a 1-1, or 4-2-1. But one thing is that now it looks like, right, Ruben Amorim is the best young manager in the game. That is a fact, right? And we're
Yeah.
going to bring Ruben Amorim in, right? And now, if these players don't perform, no, I always believed it was the players anyway. I always believed anyway it was the players. Obviously, it is partly the manager as well because he made the same mistakes. He's got to be ruthless. He's got to drop those players. Do you know what I mean? He's the one who should have dropped those players. And, but now there is no room for error for me. No room for error. I'm going to be aggressively against these players if they do not perform for the football club. If they start underperforming and start, leaks coming out. This is why they want Ruud van Nistelrooy to stay, because they want that middleman between, obviously, Ineos and obviously themselves, and they want to leak things to Ineos, etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? So I really do hope that Ruben Amorim walks into that dressing room and he's like, you know what? I know your game. You sacked this manager, that manager, that manager. I'm not going to be taking any of that. You perform, you play in this system. You don't fit the system, you're out the door. And you know what? I really do hope we sign some more attacking players. I hope we do sign a striker. I hope we buy another winger because we need a left back. As LT said, we do need a left back, and we're definitely getting a left back. Don't worry about that. We'll be getting a left back.
Yes.
I wouldn't trust Malacia.
Yes, Sal. Yes, Sal. Yes, Sal. Listen, Sal. We as a fan base for Man United, when I say we need to put pressure on these players, they need to understand they work for us. We don't work for them. If we don't buy jerseys, if we don't subscribe to the season tickets on the app, if we don't come on YouTube or post anything about them, right? Man United, they don't get paid. Everybody is on fraud watch, Sal. When I say how some of these players disgrace our club, Sal, the Man United badge. I feel like if I go on the pitch, I'll give 110% for that badge, because at the end of the day, right, we're the biggest club in England, and these players make us look like scrubs. Like, they make us look like Spurs, and Spurs is a shit team and a shit club.
The thing is like with Man United, I don't think a lot of these players understand who we are. I really don't. If I'm being honest with you, a lot of these players don't understand history. I feel that if you stood one of those players in front of you and you ask them questions about Man United, I don't think they'll actually know the answer. I don't think they really researched our history. I don't think they understand the legacy of Manchester United, because we're a completely different club to other clubs. People who just support the club, just follow the club. They don't support the club. They compare us to Real Madrid, but we're completely different to Real Madrid, etc. We've had a lot more adversity in our history than Real Madrid and things like that. And where we came from in regards to the death, the 58 disaster and etc., to where we are now, these players need to understand and thank those from the past who made them who they are. They're the reason they got those £300,000 contract, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? They're the reason that they got those contracts in the first place. And the respect has to come from those players on the pitch. And we know, I've been to many games and I know the difference between back then and now. I've seen how those players looked after a game back in the 90s and the early turn of the century, and I know how they look now. When they get off the pitch these days, it's like, they look like they haven't even been jogging for 10 minutes. They look normal, like, oh, well, that's about it. And this is what needs to change. And I really do hope that Ruben Amorim brings that in. I heard that he's very ruthless behind the scenes. He's a nice guy in the camera, but behind the scenes, he's ruthless and he will make things happen. I really do hope that we bring in those Sporting Lisbon players, honestly, just so those players get back on the pecking order, so those players will now take a back seat. If we buy another striker, Rashford would take a back seat. One of those players would take a back seat. In regards to Garnacho, as Jonathan Wendin said, I think Garnacho does need to be a team player. But one thing I will say about
Garnacho is selfish,
he's 20 years old. He's going to learn. He'll be a bench player. He'll be a bench player and he can be nurtured into the team slowly. He's got talent. He just needs to nurture that talent. We haven't been run properly. We've been run through the mud for years. They haven't been trained properly. They haven't been schooled properly. But one thing we say about Garnacho, I would rather put him to one side and talk about the pros, the experienced pros in that squad, the Brunos, the Rashfords, the Casemiro's, and Casemiro's playing well at the moment, to be fair, but the
Yes.
Bruno and obviously the Rashfords, those are the ones I want to back. Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof, those before players like Garnacho, because at least Garnacho, he goes on the pitch and he gives his all. Yeah, I know he doesn't make the right decisions. He's not probably a finished article yet, but he goes on that pitch and gives 110% every single time. You know, and I wouldn't just blame everything on him. He was slaughtered at the weekend. He had a bad game. We know he had a bad game, but who had a good game? And that is the thing. But we aimed that at him, and we aim it at Rasmus Højlund. These are the future. But one thing I said, which I agree on, Rasta, is that we need to bring some players in who are gonna teach these players how to play, and you know, like experienced striker, for example, bringing. Sir Alex Ferguson did it with Robin van Persie. You know, you're bringing someone like that, Dimitar Berbatov, someone like that who scored goals, proven goal scorers. And that's why I wanted Even Tony. I wanted Even Tony in the summer because obviously he would have been good to have around the club, his personality.
But he's inside it making 400K a week.
Yeah, but the only reason he asked for 400K is because he had to go to Saudi Arabia. If he came to Man United, he wouldn't be asking for 400K a week. He's openly said he will take half of that at Man United.
Yep. Hey, Sal. And another thing for me, I honestly think that Garnacho is better off as he comes on as a sub. To me, he's more of a sub impact player because reason why I say that, because against City, as he came on, he scored a goal. As he came off the bench, he scored a goal. So to me, he's more of an impact sub, and he could be developed, right? I really want to see Ahmad play this game, and I think his contract is about to be up soon, and I hope they decide to keep Ahmad because listen, Ahmad is a baller. We just need to give him more time.
And this is for young players, though. This is for young players. They all need time, isn't it? They need time. But you know, one thing we need to do, we need to get some players in there who can act as leaders as well. You know, back in the 90s, he brought through the class of 92. But at the same time, we had men in that team. We had Cantona, Mark Hughes, Gary Pallister, Steve Bruce, Paul Ince, Kanchelskis. You know, I think we had great Kanchelskis went, of course. I'm not saying Kanchelskis. Ryan Giggs, we had, of course, and you know, we had a lot of experience and winners in that team. At the moment, who are those players looking up to? You know, who are you going to look at and say, you know what, he's won 2, 3, 4 titles. I'm going to learn off that guy. You've only got Casemiro there, and Casemiro for me is not going to be the sort of guy to be a captain to shout at players and stuff. Well, I mean, it's language obviously barrier as well and stuff like that. But we've only got Casemiro there who can really turn around to any one of those players and say, "Well, I've won 5 Champions Leagues. What have you won?" You know,
exactly.
And you know when what did you see that tackle from Casemiro when?
He was fuming at Garnacho. He let him have it. I'm like, that's good. Garnacho needed that.
Discipline. You know, that's what you have. If you have your child, your son or your daughter, you know, I mean, they're doing something wrong. It's discipline. You shout at them. Well, you don't do it like that. You know, otherwise they're going to carry on making the same mistakes over and over again. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. And that goes with Ahmad. That goes with Rasmus Højlund as well. You know, these players got to understand they're young, right? I know, I don't blame them. They don't really understand Man United. And I guarantee you, Garnacho really doesn't understand who Manchester United is. He's too young to understand who we are, where we come from, you know. But the thing is, one thing I like about that's why we need those sort of players in the team. We need those sort of players in the squad. Those players who can run 50 yards to make that challenge and then turn around to Garnacho and say, listen, you stop that. Just like Roy Keane used to do back in the day. You do that again. Listen, I'm telling you, you know, and that's how it should be. And I like that about it. But you know what? That's no insult to Garnacho. He's going to learn.
True. You know? Sal, you know, it's so funny. I was watching a video with Roy Keane, and he was doing a vid. I think he was doing like something about driving to London, and he said, he said, you better be on time. And somebody asked him, Roy, you hate people being late? He's like, yeah. What happened? And then they asked him, what happened if the players of Man United were late? He said they weren't, because they know if they were late, they know what will happen. If you feel me? And I feel like that.
You know, one thing about Roy Keane, I would love to have him at the football club, because one thing about Roy Keane, he speaks the truth. He doesn't hide anything in regards to, like, the other day he said, you know what is overrated? He said parties and smiling.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Sal, I'm gonna share that in the group. I have that video. I'm gonna share it in the group.
Parties and smiling. He's right though. You know what? You know, it's not. This is not about being friends. As we know, the 98-99 team that won the treble, Teddy Sheringham and Nicole, they hated each other. They hated each other's
Mm-hmm.
guts, but they still played for the football club. They still played. It doesn't matter. It's not about being friends here. No, it's about winning, and that's what it's about. You know what I
So,
mean?
so, so, so-
And that's what this team needs to implement. It's too huggy. It's too lovey-dovey. You
yeah,
know what I
you
mean? It's
said
all like
players
after the
hugging,
game, clapping
smiling,
hands.
chatting to each
Bro,
other.
did you see the one that really got me? And I didn't say it at the time, but the one that really got me was the FC20 game, right? At Old Trafford.
Mm-hmm.
Was when they were talking about how great FC20 are, how you used to play and support FC20, you know, how your feelings about FC20. Do you remember that game you were managing at FC20? Do you remember that? And I was like, we're here to win a football match. Why are we talking about FC20? And do you know what? On the
Exactly,
watch along, we're saying, do you know what? This Man United are being too nice to FC20. They're being too nice, and they're going to equalize. And what happened? They equalized, and it was 1-1.
equalize. Eh,
Bro,
eh, eh, yep, yep. Sal, and another thing from Roy Keane that I love. He said, players hugging, smiling, chatting to each other. I don't get it. I don't understand. When you go on the pitch, you're going into battle. You're going into battle. Yo, oh my God.
that's what you got to be, though. A winner's a winner. At the end of the day, that's how you win. This is like you can't be nice in business. You can't be nice in sport. I mean, nice guys finish last. They say it. It's a fact.
Yeah,
In every walk of life, you know, you can't be too nice. You can't be too nice to your wife, your girlfriend, anyone. You can't be too nice to them because at the end of the day, you get trod on, and you have to be a
exactly.
little bit behind. You know, a little bit. You know, take a seat back. Do you know what I mean? And say, look, do you know what? Leave your heart on the shelf. Bring your brain, and that is what it is. You know, bring your
Exactly.
brain. Do you know what I mean? And that is what Man United need to do. They need to like leave their heart on the show, all the happiness. He's my friend, even though he plays for the opposition team. He's my friend. We've known each other 10 years. I don't care. You remember when Gary
Exa-
Neville came out the tunnel and when Peter Schmeichel was playing for Man City in goal, and you know when he tried to shake his hand and Gary Neville just moved his hand away, like I don't want to shake your hand.
Exactly.
Those guys have won
Exactly.
titles together and Champions Leagues together. Do you know what I
Hey,
mean?
I feel like where that mentality formed from, because I told you my uncle is the reason why I'm I'm a United fan. He said, "Yo, why you think Roy Keane is so aggressive like that? He learned that from Cantona." I'm like, "Uncle, what you mean he learned that from Cantona?" He said, "Yo, my uncle showed me some clips of when Cantona did the karate kick to the fan."
Mm.
He said he learned that from Cantona. Like these players are based from that style. I'm just like, these players are just not serious enough. They need to be serious, and they're just not. They think it's fun and games. It's not.
And that's the thing. And not only that, during those times, it was more like we had 11 captains, sometimes 15 with the substitutes as well. Every single one of those players could be captain, from Paul Wince to Paul Parker to Dennis Irwin to Gary Pallister, Peter Schmeichel, Cantona, Hughes. They were all captain material. And one
Mm-hmm.
thing that I loved about that team, right, and is that they supported each other. You went to war together. When you're on that pitch, you're at war together. When Beckham was getting slaughtered by the away fans after the 1998 World Cup, every time he would get kicked around the pitch, he'll get kicked, etc. Because obviously they believed he sent England out of the World Cup in '98. The players would gather around that player and they will push him, they will
Yep.
intimidate him, they'll
Yep.
scare him. Even
Yep.
with referees, Man City do it now. They scare referees. You know, they go up to the referees and stuff. Roy Keane used to do that all the time. You know that karate kick, right? Right, that karate kick. It typified something. I don't care how bad and whatever people say. That guy was defending his honor, right? And one thing about it, right? That guy deserved a kick in the mouth. He did.
Yeah.
And when he kicked, I'm not being funny, but when I see that to this day, when I see that, I get tingled down my spine. I'm like, yeah, yes, that is what you get if you mess with Man United. That is what you get. That karate kick to your chest. You know what I mean? And that's how it should be. Nowadays, it's too nice, bro. It's too nice. We're not intimidating. We're not scary anymore. And this is what I want to bring back, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely, Sal. And I feel like with this new coach, I just hope he just observe who are the dead wood and just bench them. Don't even play them.
Exactly. That's what I would do. I mean, and now it's time. I mean, one thing about Eric Ten Hag, we had Harry Amass, like Jonathan has said, on the bench, right? And yet we will
Yes.
shoehorn other players into wrong positions. And,
Be-
that is the
be-
problem that we're having.
Yo,
Bring Harry Amass through, man.
bro,
Bring him
bro,
through.
bro, bro. When he played Nazwari as a number 10, I'm like, oh my god, why, why, why are you playing a right back as a number 10?
I think he wanted to sack Rasta. I'll be honest. I think he wanted to be
Yes,
sacked.
yes. That's 17 million pounds he's getting, and he's chilling
Yeah. He
because
wanted
they
to
know
sack.
he
He
has
said
to
this
pay
is
him.
not working. And honestly, I feel like this, right? After the season began, after Ineos were talking to all those other managers before the season began, I personally think he was a bit bitter about it. I think he wasn't happy about it. And I think like he didn't really care. That's why, I had to look at him. I said, why is he playing Mazrui up front? And then when Ineos say that, when they see that, they said, we just purchased Xerxes, we just purchased Ugarte for this many millions, spent all summer chasing those players, and they're not playing. Is this man taking us for a fool or what? And
Yeah,
that's basically what they probably felt. I mean, imagine you spent all that money all summer chasing Ugarte, chasing Xerxes, and he doesn't play them. And then you're like, but he's playing a defender as an attacker. And you're like, hey, this guy's taking a piss, bro. I mean, this guy what is
yeah,
going on?
yeah,
I mean, that is natural to be feeling that way.
yeah, man. But yeah. So, I'm just saying. Listen, Ineos found their player. I mean, not their player, their manager. Is an Ineos signing. So let's see how we could salvage our season. And honestly, our main focus should be the Europa League and the league. I think we should. I don't think we should focus on the cups, honestly, because we won the cups already. To be honest, so I think it's the Europa League and the league, because listen, we have three Champions Leagues. Chelsea has two. Liverpool has six. Right? Liverpool has two Europa League trophies. Chelsea has two Europa League trophies, and we as Man United only have one. So that's a to our rivals. That's a lot of European trophies. A lot of people might say the Europa League trophy is not significant. I think it's significant because it's still a European trophy at the end of the
It's
day.
football heritage. And
Yes.
you have to win these European trophies because throughout history, if people look at Man United, we won the Cup Winners' Cup all the way back 1990. You think about those games. Those are what got Man United to eventually to where we were. It was those
Hmm.
European nights. Even though it wasn't the biggest European trophy, the Europa League is a big trophy, and we should have more. We've lost the final, of course. We lost semi-finals and stuff. Of course, like we shouldn't have lost to. I think it was Villarreal, wasn't it, in the final? We shouldn't have
Yeah.
lost to them. That was pathetic. We missed how many penalties? We scored 10 penalties and still lost the game. You know what I mean? And
Wasn't Unai Emery the manager at that time?
yeah,
I
he
think.
found a way to win. He found a way to
Yep.
win, and that's all it was. And that's the good thing about Unai Emery. But we had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I just feel like that game, right? After that game, I thought, you know what, Marcus Rashford's not that guy because when
No.
I was watching that game, he didn't put in any effort whatsoever in trying to get a goal. He missed an open goal as well. I remember it, and that frustrated me. But you're absolutely right about the Europa League. I'll accept coming fifth or sixth if we win the Europa League. If we win the Europa League, we get into the Champions League. You know what? And that's all that matters. And then we move on from next season and try and challenge for the league. I think 2027, 26, 27 will be challenging. I actually think next
Yes.
season will challenge. I got this
Yes.
feeling we're gonna do something big. It's not gonna be this season. But you know what? We're going to come back this season. I think we're going to win some games this season, get back up that league. I think we're going top
Yes.
four in the Europa League. FA Cup and League Cup, they're irrelevant at the moment for us. It's nice,
Yes.
but it's nice to win. But you know what? We need to win something that's going to help us going forward. And Europa League, I would put all my eggs in that basket, man.
Yes. Definitely, definitely, Sal. Because I'm just like, yo, honestly, oh, we don't want Arsenal to win it. Oh, we don't want Spurs to win it. We don't want Crystal Palace to win this, because I'm talking to other United fans over here. I say, yo, bro, listen, we won those cups already. We need to focus. We need to fry bigger fish. Because I said I refuse to see Spurs win the Europa League. I refuse.
Oh
To see
man.
them win it.
And they're the only team that can compete with us in that competition, realistically.
Yes, yes.
Realistically, if I look at that league, I look at that table. I mean, tonight we're playing Poak, right? We should be
Yep,
beating that team 3 or 4-0, 5-0.
yep.
That they're not good. Look, if you look at that league, right, and you say which one of those teams are capable of winning the Champions League, you say none of them. So
Hmm.
why can't we win that competition? And Spurs is going to be our toughest game. Can you believe it? Spurs going to be our toughest game. Spurs, for goodness sake, is going to be
Yeah.
our toughest game. We should sweep the floor with Spurs. And a one-off final, in a one-off final or two-leg semi-final, quarter-final, I put all our money on. I know they beat us this season, but under
Yeah.
Ruben Amorim, I'm telling you, right, we'll thump Spurs. We'll get rid of them. Absolutely, we'll get rid of them and we'll win that Europa League. And it's about time we started acting like a proper serious club, you know what I mean, and started winning these games. But one thing I'm worried about, obviously, is these players, and that is the only stumbling block. Every time I
Yeah.
have the possibility, the back of my mind is like, oh yeah, but we still got Rashford, we still got Luke Shaw, we still got Maguire, we still got Lindelof, and it's always barking in the back of my head. And I'm like, you know what? That's true. That's true. These players need to go. Because it's frustrating. You want to see a new slate completely. You want to see a completely different side and a Ruben Amorim side. That's what you want to do. But we got a backlog of players from the Louis van Gaal days, 10 years ago, 11 years ago. I mean, it's
Yep.
crazy. And these players need to go. And you know what? I believe that we will probably win the Europa League, but these players are liable to let us down. This is the problem.
Yes.
A game we're supposed to win. We could come up against an FC Girona or FC 20 in a quarterfinal. And those players are liable to let you down. They let us down against Sevilla. We should have won that game against Sevilla, I think, a year or two ago. The mistakes that were made, you saw it. I mean, any
Yep.
team in Europe would have capitalized on those mistakes. If you make those mistakes against those teams you're even meant to be beating, they will capitalize on it. These are good players. They're going to beat you. You have to be 110% all the time. And that goal, I think it was David De Gea kicked it out to Maguire. Maguire slipped up, and then obviously they scored Sevilla. And that's a tournament we should have won. And I don't want them going down the same players. We still got those players apart from De Gea, even though it wasn't De Gea's fault, I don't think. But you know what? We still got the core of those players. And until those players are gone, you have to expect anything from Man United. You can even expect
Yeah,
to draw
yeah,
tonight.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
that bad.
yeah, yes, Sal, and honestly, Sal, like with Marcus Rashford, right? To be honest with you, like what has he really done for our club?
Nothing.
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 And Sal, the only trophies Marcus Rashford ever won was 2 FA Cups,
A League
one
Cup.
EFL Cup, and one Europa League Cup.
Yeah.
Those are the only trophies he's ever
And
won.
this is
So
the one
that's
thing
like,
I would say about Garnacho. Garnacho has had more of an impact in these finals than Rashford has had.
yes.
He scored in the FA Cup final against Man City, which completely changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one who scored in the Charity Shield just at the beginning of the season against Manchester City. He was the one who scored
Mm-hmm.
that. But I've seen Marcus Rashford in finals, like the 2017 final with Jose Mourinho and etc. You know what? I'd be honest with you. I think that final was a little bit emotional. It was a little bit because obviously there was the terror attack in Manchester a night before. And you know what? Man United came into the game. Ajax were in an awkward position, and Man United ended up winning the game 2-0.
Yeah.
Mkhitaryan obviously scored and stuff. But obviously, Marcus Rashford went missing in that game as well. And this is the thing. I just feel like he's given too much respect because he's
Yeah,
Manchester born and bred.
yeah, Sal.
You
And
know,
this is another thing. When I tell people when it comes to important games and big games, like he does not show up. But when it comes to little small games, that's when he want to show up.
and that's it. I mean, Barnsley, teams like that, and that goes with Bruno Fernandes as well. Those players, they turn up when the heat is off. But when this heat is on, and you have to show your face when you're playing Liverpool, when you're playing Tottenham, when you're playing Chelsea and Arsenal, they don't show up. They didn't show up against Chelsea the other day. You know
No,
what?
no,
They didn't play for Ruud van Nistelrooy. You know what I mean? They didn't.
no.
And I said it back then that team was there for the taking. Chelsea weren't really threatening us. We should have won that game. We should have won that game.
No.
And you know what? The only good thing about that game was the pass from Casemiro and Rasmus Højlund control for the penalty.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
was
So the only thing we did against Chelsea to get the draw was isolated their midfield and brought them down to our level.
yeah.
Yeah,
But have you noticed the way we were playing? We're playing like a kind of we press counter attack kind of style. It's
Mm-hmm.
like to the point we were standing still and we
Yeah,
weren't really moving. It was like tactics: left, right, back, left, right, back, and we wait for one moment. We do a long ball, and then you know what? 9 times out of 10, it won't work. And then that one time, a bit of quality happened. Casemiro got the ball, passed it to
yeah,
Rutherford, penalty. And you know what? We got the quality there to do
yeah,
that, but we don't do it enough. And that's the problem. But you know what? There are players hampering our development in regards to going forward. As you said, I think Garnacho should be dropped to the bench. I think Rashford should be out of the club, in my opinion. I mean, they're going to find it difficult to get in the Amorim side because Amorim does play 2 number 10s and the striker. So they're going to find it difficult to get in that side because they're not going to be
yeah,
playing wingers. You know,
yeah.
he's going to be playing fullbacks.
And
I
and
mean,
honestly, you know who I feel like who fits in this side? Ahmad, Xerxes, and Hoyland. To be honest,
we'll have to wait
yeah,
and see, isn't it? We'll have to wait and see.
yeah,
It's going to be interesting, bro. It's going to be interesting what's going to happen the first game against Ipswich. I'm worried about that game against Ipswich, if I'm being honest, because you know what? He's going to change everything. The style will probably change. You know, the formation probably change, and hopefully, the fans remain patient because let's treat this league now. The league now. Look, we're not going to win the league, right?
no,
So let's treat the league now like right. This is for next season. We're working for next season, and that's what we should do. But when we get
yeah,
to the Europa League, we'll fight for that
uh,
and we'll win that
yeah,
tournament.
yeah. And when
Even
he
playing young players.
yeah, when he comes in, he's not gonna have much time to train because when is the Ipswich game? Ipswich Sound game.
24th, yeah. So he comes in on the 11th, but the problem is this international break. So a lot of these players are not going to be training with the manager. He's going to be there on the 11th, getting used to everything, putting cones out,
Yeah,
whatever he's going to be doing. But this rubbish international, national league, whatever they do, is, you know, they keep playing this tournament every couple of months, every month. It's Euro Cup, it's the World Cup and the Europa League qualifications. You know, it's too much international football, and you know he's not gonna have a chance to work with that team. So really and truly, the first few days before the Ipswich game will be the chance you have with that team. You know, and
yeah,
hopefully, I really do hope that he's looked at the TV, he's been watching Man United, and he comes with his own conclusion because I don't want him coming into Man United in awe. I mean, oh my God, Marcus Rashford, I'm your biggest fan. That sort of mentality. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I want a mentality where I've seen you play, yeah, and I'm not happy with it. You know, to be honest, I
yeah,
don't like the way you're playing. I want someone like
yeah,
that, bro.
yeah, man. Yeah, 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 Sal. And all I can say is we just have to observe and watch. And listen, if he observe that players are not doing what he say or play want to play, you take them off. You take them off. You bench them. You know, 'cause right now these players need to earn the right to play on the pitch. Nobody should have a guaranteed spot. Nobody.
Exactly. And giving out contracts for no achievements. This kind of
Exactly.
thing. Like Bruno shouldn't have been given a contract. Why is
No.
Bruno given a contract? Why? Why is he getting
Nope.
more money? For what? For what exactly is he getting more money? For what? Winning an FA Cup? Underperforming? This kind of thing needs to end now. Like contracts, like managers should get 18 months. That's it. Contracts should be given, you know what I mean? Like when you win something major, like a Champions League or Premier League, you get a contract. Unless you win the League
Mhm.
Cup, FA Cup, and Europa League in one season or something like that, then you get a new contract. But until then, like we shouldn't be handing out new contract like it's sweets. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we're doing at the moment. And that's why we had
Jim Watkins, I'm good, my brother. I'm good, my brother. Sorry, sir.
That's all right, man. Let me go through some of these comments. Alfonso Davies would be a great signing too, but again, why sign players with great mentality when United can sign the opposite? I don't understand. I think Davies would be a great signing for Man United. He's scored a lot of goals. It is not Mason Mount's fault. It is Manchester United's fault for signing him in the first place. I agree. I do agree with that. I'm not going to disagree with that, Lang. We shouldn't have signed him in the first place. Good morning, Jim. How you doing, my friend? Good afternoon, Sal. I'm good, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good morning. Go, Man United. Big up, David. Big up. I think that's spam, that one. Let me read this one. Lang, again, why sign Jonathan Davies on a free transfer when Manchester United can sign Gutierrez, who is great, but could have cost £150 million? I personally believe Gutierrez is a good signing, but he doesn't strike me as much different to Rasmus Højlund. The only difference with him is that he has service. If you watch Sporting Lisbon the other night, he had a lot of service there. He also missed a one-on-one, let's not forget, right? He had a lot of service there. I think if Rasmus Højlund has that service, a young 20-year-old Rasmus Højlund, right? If he has that service, he's going to score goals, right? He's going to
Yes,
score
and,
goals.
and what I want our managers to do is say, listen, I want him to tell everybody in the midfield, everybody who's on the left or right, listen, you pass the ball to Hoyland, you pass the ball to Xerxes. If you do not find him and service him the ball, you do not play. That's what I want us to implement, man.
Yeah, and that's what Alex Ferguson did with Robin van Persie when he signed. He said, you better pass the ball to Robin van Persie. If you don't pass the ball to him, you're not playing. You're out. Simple.
Yep.
That's how it should be. LT, the problem now is that senior players are not performing or giving their all on the pitch, and that affects our young players who are forced to be the main players on the team. And this is what I've been saying. You know, back in the day, we had men on the pitch, people who won things, major titles. Do you know what I mean? Multiple titles. Nowadays, you've got players who like to down to, oh, don't worry about it. I'm going to buy a new Porsche at the end of the week. You know, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm rich. You know, I'm young. And that's the mentality. Like, why should I go in for that challenge and risk breaking my leg? I don't really care. I pretend, you know what? It's like they give the minimum on the pitch. They give the minimum. Like, you know what? In the past, players used to go above and beyond. They used to go above and beyond and put their foot in where it hurts. Players would get injured, risk getting injured. These days, it's like, I'm going to give the minimum on the pitch. When it comes to like 50-50 challenges and things like that, I'm going to pull out of it a little bit. You know what? And that's what I've seen, because I compare it with the old days. And I don't like comparing with the old days because I want us to move forward. But I compare it with tackles we used to make back then. You know, I compare it with the goals we used to score back then. Mate, I used to see players score scissor kicks, bicycle kicks from 25 yards. Things like that. Do you know what I mean? Andy Cole scoring bicycle kicks from 25 yards. Those sort of strikers. Do you know? And I used to see Beckham scoring goals from the halfway line. Things like that. Do you know what I mean? We used to be mad, like, you know, and as you said, that karate kick from Eric Cantona typified it. It typified who we were. We were classy. We were the best, but we were also, you don't mess with us. Right now, it's like, oh, we're going to Old Trafford. You know, opposition teams, it's like, yeah, that's a good day out. We get to meet Fred the Red, and it's all lovely and dovely, and it's all family orientated. It's too nice. It's too nice.
Exactly.
It's one thing we can learn about Fenerbahce. If we can learn anything about Galatasaray, we can learn even from Liverpool, and I don't like Liverpool, is that their Anfield and their stadiums are intimidating. Our stadium is nice. That's it. It's people like, you know, it's a nice atmosphere. You go there. You know, I remember, I don't know if you've been to a baseball game, Rasta, but I went to a baseball game in Houston, Texas, right?
Yeah.
And you can literally talk like a low voice, and you can hear the next man next to you, right? And stuff like that. And it's like, there's no atmosphere unless something happens, you know, and then they put up on the screen, clap, you know, and stuff like that. That's what Old Trafford is like. I know we need players. I mean, the only time in the last, I say 10, like I think I went to, it was the Roma game where I found Old Trafford the loudest it's ever been when we beat them 7-1. And you know what? I was at that game and the Roma players were, honestly, they gave up. They said, we can't take this. This is too intense. The fans are too loud. Cristiano Ronaldo's running that way. Wayne Rooney's running that way. We've got Carrick there, Giggs there, Scholes. And you know, they couldn't handle it. You know, and they lost 7-1. We used to obliterate teams at Old Trafford.
And it's funny.
They obliterate us.
It's funny you say that. So I remember last season we went. One of my friends went Man United away against Liverpool, and he said, "Bro, the fans that was singing the Liverpool song. Do you know how annoying?" He said to me, "Bro, that song is so annoying, bro." And it's like he said, "Yo, our fans need to be like that. Make the other opposition players feel that way."
Yeah, irritated. You know, they're irritated. And you know what? Because they know Liverpool do use that as a weapon. You know, they use that. They've got that song and they use it as their weapon. And one thing about Anfield is that I've been Anfield a few times. It's very, very intimidating for opposition. I mean, look at Barcelona. Barcelona were 3-0 up in the new camp. Liverpool came back and won 4-0. You know, that is what Anfield is. That was Anfield. That's because of Anfield. You know, if we were 3-0 down to Barcelona at the new camp, we'd be lucky to get a draw at Old Trafford if we're lucky, you know. And that's the difference, and we need to look at that and say, look, we need to be more intimidating. We need to be more scary. We're the Red Devils, for goodness sake. That's our nickname, for goodness sake. And the way we play, we're like My Little Pony. You know what I mean? That's what we are. And that's what I'm fed up with, bro.
Trust me, Sal. I'm fed up, man. I'm fed up, but right now I have no choice but to be patient and be very observant. Right now I'm on fraud watch. I mean, I'm just behind the scenes observing. If I don't like what I see, I'm calling it out.
And that's how it should be. That's how it should be, bro. That's what bro. I'm gonna be off, my friend. So thanks for talking to me, brother.
No problem,
and
man.
we'll catch up again. I'm doing a watch along tonight. Anyway, if you're around, you can jump in on the watch along and stuff, and we can give up.
All right.
All right,
man. No problem.
Nice one.
Later.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers, man. Take it easy. That was Rasta Stocks. Big up Rasta as usual. Always with the good comments, the gospel, knowledge, spot on as usual. Let me go through some of these comments, guys. So I missed some of your comments. Hi GK, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Jim Wilkins, if we have a snakes and the club will wear the ladders so that the good players can get elevated low. Yeah, exactly. The ladder is going to be Ruben Amorim. He's going to be the one who's going to have to push them, of course. Let's go through it. Lang, the snakes are positioned in front of the ladders. Yeah, snakes and ladders today. Absolutely. Sal, as much as I love Cantona, that was violence, and I want us to be ruthless, and I believe Cantona should not have done that. I don't. He was racist, so I believe he should do what he likes. I disagree. Mark, good morning, guys. January striker, I would say try loan Kolo Muani. That's a good point, Mark. One thing, look, we don't incite violence at Man United, but one thing you have to implement in your game and as a winner, right? If you want to be a winner, right, you have to be above. You have to be naughty. You have to be ruthless. You have to be mean. That's what you have to be. If you're too nice, if you're lovey-dovey, hugs and kisses and stuff like that, you're not going to win anything, right? You're not going to win anything. You're not going to. I spent 20 years in the music industry. If I was a nice, lovey-dovey, sweet, lovely guy, I wouldn't get anywhere. Nowhere. You have to go above it. If someone swore at my mother, if someone swore about my religion, about my faith, that's a free hit for me. And I'm not inciting violence. That's just a free hit. At the end of the day, and anyone with a heart, a man, would do the same. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. You defend your honor. Some things take a back seat. If your mother is sick on the bed and then someone comes in the crowd and says, you're the son of a blah, 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 then that obviously resonates, and you should defend your honor. I really do think that. If he had the opportunity to not hear that, then fantastic. But the reason he didn't hear it is because Mark Hughes was moved off from the pitch. Mark Hughes used to be a person who used to calm down Eric Cantona. He used to calm him down somewhat. And you know what? He used to push him to one side. But he heard it. And because he heard it, he reacted. And for me, I would never, ever go against someone who defends their honor. Never. Violence, schmiolence. People talk about violence like a little kick in the chest, but they never mention the Middle East. They never mention what's going on in the Middle East. They talk about that, but they talk about a little kick in the chest. It's not violence. It's defending your honor. It's defending your honor at the end of the day, and that is how it should be for me. Elman, 10 million for Davies makes more sense than 60 million. Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. Manchester United is supposed to compete for trophies. The players are clearly unaware of that. I agree, Lang. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I know, Jim. I know what you mean. It is right. You know what I mean? And I defended his honor. A man would defend his honor. And I would say that to this death is someone, I know you agree with it, but I'm talking about in general. I was speaking to someone yesterday about it on the phone. We're actually talking. That's why I brought Cantona into the show today, because I was talking about that. And I said, when Man United were men, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that, you know what, it's not nothing, but I mean, when Man United were, they defended their honor. They defended their honor. And that's what I used to like back in them days. Nowadays, we're giving hugs and kisses to people, lovey-dovey, things like that. And I don't like that, in my opinion. I think we should be. I do not know if it was right, but it was awesome. It was awesome. I like Cantona more after doing that. Me too, Mark. That's why he became the king, of course, guy. Big up Mark, and Kazi, and Greg. Big up everyone. Big up Jim. Big up everyone, of course. Legends. As it was cooking, my bro. Big up Rasta, always cooking. These current players asking for Ruud to stay, looking for a way to avoid the axe. Amorim should be ruthless, and I agree, my friend Mark. This is the time for Amorim to show himself. I don't want him to go into this football club and be in awe of those players. I don't want him to do that. I want him to put his foot down from the moment he steps foot at Old Trafford. I want him to put his foot down. Axing these lazy from the start would be the best option. I agree, Mark. You know, we've got to be ruthless. That is not fair. The Manchester United squad did not show up in the big matches because they could not win those matches anyway. Well, they won an FA Cup final, Lang. Jim, everything we do now should be stepping stone, building and heading in the right direction. It's time to stop being on the international of uncertainty, intersection of uncertainty, and put things right. Make United victorious. I agree, Jim. Spot on, my friend. Harry Maguire wants to stay until the summer to convince Amorim. For fuck's sake, you've got Ole, Ragnick, Mourinho, Ten Hag, Sat. You've got nothing left. I mean, I wouldn't just say it's Harry Maguire. I think there's obviously Luke Shaw, there's obviously Lindelof, there's obviously Marcus Rashford is the mainstay in that team. So why is Marcus Rashford still there? That's another question that we're going to have to ask ourselves, of course. Mark, so if the players were as committed to the challenge like Alan Smith was, opponents would fear 50-50 against United. Yeah, big up Alan Smith, highly underrated, Mark, by the way. Alan Smith. I was talking earlier about the Roma game, the 7-1, and Alan Smith, a brilliant finish in that game. He scored a brilliant goal. Big up Alan Smith. Broke his leg, of course. It ruined his career a little bit. Lang, Amorim's first question to the squad should be, why did you're reminding me of something there, Lang. They will never answer. We don't. Guys, you're going to get me demonetized. So you're going to get me demonetized, guys. But you know what? The morning stream goes on, Kazi. It goes on. We carry on. At the end of the day, I'm talking about, at the end of the day, these players and what we need to do to succeed. Look, you know what? We can't be too pessimistic. We can't be too down on Manchester United. We don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of people in the fan base, rivals, media. We've been just talking about how Amorim is no different to Erik Ten Hag. I disagree firmly with that. I think he's a completely different person to what Erik Ten Hag is. Completely different. The only thing is similar is those players. They're the only. Big up Kazi, as usual. Big up my friend. The only thing similar is those players. I watch our games when we lose. I hardly feel when we're beaten by a better team. Instead, I always feel like we didn't try enough or we were ruthless enough. Too much weak mentality. LT, that is the key, mentality. The key is a mentality, a winning mentality. You stop at nothing to win. At the moment, I think we stop at the first hurdle. We look at it and we go, yeah. That's the way we are at the moment. We stop at the first hurdle, guys. We've got to go jump that hurdle. So someone said, I can know it and walk away, but to act like that is violence. I disagree. So I don't know what you believe in, Jim. I don't know what you believe in, but you know what? I brought up from a different way to you, Jim, and I respect you. You brought up differently to me. But for me, if someone said that to my face about my mother, my religion, I defend my religion, I defend my mother, and that's what I do. I do not walk away. And you know why? Why Man United are what they are right now? It's precisely because of that. It's precisely because of what Cantona did. What did Cantona say in an interview? My only regret is I didn't hit him harder. And that's the king. If you love this club, you love Cantona, you love him. And he's the king. And he said that on TV. And I'll bring it up. He said that the only regret I had is I didn't hit him harder. Guys, as a man, right, I would never take anything against my mother, my wife, my children, my religion, my culture. It's just not in my DNA. But everyone is different. Yeah, at the end of the day, words are self-defense. For me, words are self-defense. Words are a form of violence. Guys, let me tell you a little story for me, right? About me. I worked in a hospital, one of the biggest hospitals in London, right? I worked there as a security guard, yeah, in a hospital, right? And I was responsible for restraining people, nutters, prisoners, the whole lot, right? I'm responsible for that. Sometimes I'd be spat at. Sometimes I'd be intimidated. Sometimes people swearing at my mother, my father, my wife, myself. They call me names in front of my face, right? That's what they would do, right? At the end of the day, if someone gets in your face and says, and that you have a right to defend yourself like that because it's threatening. It doesn't have to be like he's hitting me. Oh my God, I'm defending myself. It's not like that. He come in your face. He said something to you, right? You defend it. He was a threat to me. I defended myself, and that is how it is. At the end of the day, self-defense. Oh, I mean, I'm an advocate for self-defense. Cantona said the only thing he regrets about is he didn't hit him. Absolutely, Mark. Mark, you understand, my friend. You understand. Violently, I disagree. Oh God, you guys. You guys. On the mentality, our captain Bruno had a very weak mentality. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're missing. At the end of the day, in my opinion, that's what we're missing. And we're missing that winner. We're missing that leader. We're missing that one who can, you know what I mean, take the game by the scruff of the neck. And you know what? Be an example and go out there and say, you don't mess with us. You do not mess with us. We're Manchester United. You don't mess with us. And that's what I want to see. I want to see more of that from our team. I want to see more of that from our club. You know, I'm not seeing it these days. I'm not seeing anyone fighting for the badge. And that is what it is. It's not just a word. It's not just a word. Fighting for the badge is actually facts. Facts. You fight for each other. That's the only way we're going to beat the teams above us. You know? That's the only time we're going to beat the teams above us. We need to be scary again. As I said, we need to be intimidating again. That's how we got to be, guys. In my personal opinion, in my humble opinion as well. That's how we got to be. We got to be scary. We got to be, obviously, we got to be intimidating again, in my opinion, guys, if I'm being honest with you. And that's what I would say about that, you know, in regards to that. But, you know, I mean, yeah, I was brought up differently. I was brought up to defend my honor, defend my family, defend my kids, defend my religion, defend. That's what I was at. I had to be brought up like that. You know what I mean? I wasn't born in an easy environment, Jim. And the one thing I would say is that Cantona had a similar upbringing to me. You know, and for us who relate to it, some people don't relate to it. Basically, I understood where he was coming from. Right. At the end of the day, violence, I mean, UFC is violence. Everything is violence. I mean, boxing is violence. That's violence. I used to be a kickboxer. It's violence. You know what I mean? 8 years I was one. So I know even I was taught then in martial arts and things like that, that you always have to defend your honor. You really do. You always have to defend your honor. You have to defend your territory. And if anyone comes up to you and swears at your mother, they deserve everything they get. Hey, Sal, I'm going to start a new YouTube channel I just created. I'll keep you updated. Yeah, Rasta, let me know. Send me the link to it and stuff. I'll subscribe. Of course, Unity, obviously, all day long. Jim, I still love Cantona. Yeah, he is. We don't have true leaders in the team, and it seems like our players are not united on some of the page and on the same page. And that's why we're so adamant about a clear out of these weak-minded players, senior players. I agree. Absolutely agree, LT. Spot on, mate. There's a lot of those players there that don't have the mentality to do what it takes to win. They don't have the mentality to do it today. As I said, they stop at the first hurdle. They stop at the first hurdle, and that's what they do, unfortunately, and they don't jump over that hurdle. GK, how you doing? What's LWB, my friend? What's LWB? What's that, mate? Is it a left wing back? Is it a left wing back? Oh, I know what you mean. So, the urges are strong to tough to leave something you love. I would try it, but let's see. Mad Advance said, you know what? You can use this channel as a place to come and to let off steam. You can do that, mate. I can help you as well, guys, if you want help with your studies and stuff. Big up, GK, Amas is left. I agree. Yeah, GK, I agree with that. I would play him at left wing back, absolutely. Left wing back, absolutely, all day long. Of course, left wing back, absolutely, Mad Advanced. I didn't get left WB who. Yeah. Who will play left back under Ruben? Who I think he should play? Is he should play Harry Amas as the left back. If I'm being honest with you, he should play Harry Amas as the left wing back. But the way Ruben Amorim plays, he literally plays wingers as the left back. So he literally plays midfielders as the left backs options. The only thing is that those midfielders have to work hard going forward, tracking back, going forward, tracking back. And that's what I would say. Amas is the GOAT. I mean, he deserves a chance, Mad Advance said. He deserves a chance, doesn't he? He deserves one chance. Under Eric Ten Hag, you know what? He didn't get a chance. And that's one thing that bone I pick about Eric Ten Hag, guys. I was very upset he didn't give Eric Ten Hag, he didn't give Harry Amas a chance. Eric Ten Hag, he should have gave Harry Amas a chance. I mean, it's out of order the way he was treated. Mad Advance said, this season, Liverpool 7, United, we must come back next year. I don't like being reminded about that, Mad Advance said. It because brings back horrible memories. Anthony's not good enough and he doesn't want to play there, GK. He's already said it. He doesn't want to play there. And you can't force a player, shoehorn a player into a position he doesn't want to play in. Because as we saw when Eric Ten Hag tried to put him as a left back, he didn't want to play there. And we can't do that. He needs to have the mentality to play there, right? And if he doesn't want to play, the guy can't even play left midfield. How is he going to play left wing back? Do you know what I mean? The guy plays right midfield, even though he's a left footer and he doesn't want to play left midfield. He's not going to take that. And would you rely on that? Would you do that? At the end of the day, I just don't think Anthony is good enough. I'm seeing it now. That I don't think he's good enough, in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see what obviously Ruben Amorim does. We might bring him in. You never know. I enjoyed it so much when Casemiro went crazy on Garnacho against. Absolutely. But that is what we need at the football club. Some people may say that's violence. Some people say when he took out the player and got a yellow card, that's violence. Nah, we need that mentality in the team. Keane used to grab people by the collar, his own teammates. Peter Schmeichel used to grab people by the collar, his own teammates. That's how we should be. That's how we got to be as Man United. We got to be tough and ruthless, guys. And if we're going to get back to where we go, we got to stop this woke, bloody mentality that we have, that we're so soft and we're nice and we're hugging and we're kissing and we're swapping shirts at the end of that. That's what we need to stop, guys. Do you know what I mean? Do that in your own time. But when you're on the pitch, you give your all for Man United and you fight for that badge. Absolutely. Yeah, respect you too, Jim. Absolutely, of course, all day long. I am glad Ugarte is getting game time because I can see why we bought him and needs more minutes to integrate team. Absolutely. Jim, by the way, as I would say, is that everyone has a different story in life. I would say that too, yeah? Some people are fighters. Some people are like people who can take anything thrown at them and can just walk away. Some people are like that, right? I myself have got, as I said, I worked in a hospital and I've had a lot of swearing at me, spitting, punching, you name it. And I've had to defend things when things got heated, when someone swore at my mother. If someone comes up to you and goes, you're this and this and this, you have a right to, you know what I mean, do what you need to do. But one thing I would say that not everyone is the same. And that is what life is. At the end of the day, if we were all the same, life would be boring. But one thing I would say is that I was raised in a way where if anyone mentions my mother, my father, my family, my loved ones, anything, even you, Jim, right? If anyone does that, you know what I mean, I would defend my honor. But not everyone is like that. That's why we get policemen, right? That's why we get policemen. That's why we get people who, you know what, are very soft. That's why we get some people who are mathematicians. That's why we get some people who are geniuses. That's why we get some people who can run 100 meters, because everyone is different at the end of the day. Big up, Jim. I'm glad it's getting some game time. I'm glad as well, my friend. Absolutely. Garnacho is left wide, man. You know how Casemiro shouted at Garnacho, tracking back. Here we are the problem. Garnacho is a wide left. Men, you know how Casemiro shouted down on Garnacho, tracking back. Yeah. I like that, GK, though. I really did like that, my friend. I really did like the way he did. I like the way. But Sal, what do you think? Amorim is a good manager, so I think he can convince Anthony. Mad Advance said, I wouldn't trust someone who's never played there before, which he hasn't. I wouldn't trust it. We need to move on from shoehorning players. That's what we need to do. Because part of our lack of success over the last few years is the fact that we're shoehorning players into positions. You know, we're shoehorning players into positions, guys. We need every player to have a mentality like Casemiro and Onana. I agree. Guys, like the video. Big up, man advanced. Thank you, guys. When you say even you, Jim, what do you mean, bro? I don't know what you mean. I can't remember what I said just 2 minutes ago. I can't remember at the end of the day. I can't remember. Don't take anything I come on this stream. I answer thousands of messages, Jim. And you know what? Sometimes I say things I don't really understand. You know what? It doesn't come out like I want it to come out, Jim. So don't take anything personal. I'm talking about people are different in life. Basically, the nutshell of it is people are different in life. Do you know what I mean? Just people are different. Jim, you got more patience probably. I might have less patience. Cantona has less patience, but another player might have more patience, basically, if you know what I mean. Big up. It's nothing wrong in being different. Casemiro is fighting for this career, and Garnacho doesn't give a yawn. Kazi, are you being rude, mate? Are you being rude, bruv? Kazi, are you being rude? Casemiro is fighting for his career, and Garnacho doesn't give a go about it. Absolutely not. Guys, listen. Right. At the end of the day, look, you know what? There's a big month ahead for Manchester United, a massive month ahead for Man United, and I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of things that can happen. This time next month is going to be a very educational thing for us. We're going to know exactly what's going on in regards to everything. So, you and that guy had a long conversation. Did you like it? Yeah, I like Rasta Stocks. Rasta Stocks supports the channel. He's a friend of mine. But obviously, you know what? I like bringing people on the channel. I like hearing different points of view. I like hearing people's different opinions. I love that. And that's what I'm about. I'm about the fans. I'm about bringing people on. And even when I progress in this channel, even when I get going on this channel, I'm going to give these same people the opportunity. I support people. And you know what? I like them because they come out with good comments. They come out with the gospel, you know, and that's what I like. And it's nothing sensationalist. There's no hatred there. There's nothing rude in regards to that, of course. Sal, concern is just short. I agree. GK, absolutely agree. 76 watching, guys. Please don't forget to smash a like and subscribe to the channel, guys, please, if you could do that. Choose Sal, somehow something about your mother and father, and then you added, no, but I mean, like, in regards to when someone says something about your mother or father, I defend the way I feel appropriate, like you. So you will defend the way you feel appropriate. I defend how I feel appropriate. In regards to that, nothing rude against you, Jim. Absolutely not. Love you, bro. It's nothing about that. There's LT. Amorim in Ineos. You guys, you do need to back him fully in terms of transfers, especially sales. If that means taking a hit financially, then so be it. Short-term pain for long-term gain. I agree, mate. You know what? There's a number of players in that football team right now who need to leave the football club, and this is what we've been touching on all morning. We've been talking about those players who need to leave the club, and to be honest with you, and they do, absolutely. One thing is Amorim going to get the easiest match as his starter. Absolutely. Jim, do you know what, Jim? You know, people like you is what makes this stream, you know, because people like you, like we joke around, I disagree and stuff, but we're joking around. But people like you are what makes it good, because we don't always have the same opinion, and we're not meant to have the same opinion. At the end of the day, I'm a different person to you are, but I've still got the same sort of, we're initially the same, how do you say it? We're ultimately the same, but we just act on different things, you know, and that's what I would say, you know, and that is how I am. Like in regards to Cantona, in regards to that, I mean, I agreed with that. Some people disagreed with that. Some people agree with it. Cantona liked it. You know, Cantona said he didn't hit him harder, but that's the difference in mentality, isn't it? That's just different people. And that's it. Everyday people are different people. At the end of the day, if my wife was the same as me, I probably wouldn't like her very much. You know what I mean? And that's what I would say about that. Big up, Jim. Love you, bro. Yeah, you're fair too, brother. Love straight for post. Love Jimbo. Give a shout out to Jimbo. You know what? Big up, Jim. Absolutely. Got nothing but love. Look, at the end of the day, treat what I do, right, is like I treat this like we're sitting around a bench or we're sitting in a bar or something and we're having a chat. And that's what it's about at the end of the day, just having a chat. And you know what? Part of me feels like, right, and I'll tell you this honestly, and I'll tell you honestly about this, Jim, everyone, right? When you have a certain personality, right, and you are very, like, you have like I've always had like anger issues, right? And I'll be honest with you guys. And I'm saying this from the truth. I've always had anger issues in my life, and that is because the way I've been raised, the way where I was brought up, etc., etc. I wasn't brought up, in a certain way. I was brought up in a tough way. I lived in a home where women go who have been beaten up and stuff. I lived there for a couple of years when I was a child. When I was a child, I had a woman talking to me who, suffered domestic violence and stuff as a child. And she was saying, when you grow up, Sal, don't you ever be like that man. And you know what? I've been through this in my life. And you know what? I've had a different kind of upbringing. I was brought up in a council estate. As you know, in America, it's the projects. I was brought up in a council estate in Leytonstone in East London, 5 of us in 1 bedroom. So my upbringing is completely different to a lot of people, and I would not show any grudges to the way people react to certain situations. Absolutely not. And the point I'm making is that I'm making it in regards to how I feel in regards to how I would approach it. I put myself in that position. Just now and early in the stream, I put myself in that position. Right? I put myself there at that moment. And I'm talking to that guy. It's a bit like that. And that's how I would say it. And in life, you know what? We're all different. And that's what's the beauty of life, of course, guys, as I say. Sometimes I say certain things comes out different. I agree, Jim. Me too. Me too. Love this channel. Found it only 3 months, but it's the best. Thank you, Mad Advanced. Much love to you too, Mad Advanced. You know what? I really appreciate you, my friend. You are a legend. I really appreciate you, of course. Mark, if Amorim gets half of the backing that Ten Hag got, then we are back in business. I hope so, Mark. I really do. I hope so. I'm tired of waiting for new managers. I'm tired of getting managers sacked, having managers get sacked. I'm tired of all that. I'm really stressed out of that. Guys, look, you know what? I'm doing an all-day watch-along, guys, on the 25th of November for my birthday. Don't forget to join me for that. I'm going to have some very special guests on the show. It's going to be brilliant. I'm going to be online all day, guys. All day. Do you think I can do it? So basically 7 a.m. UK time. I'm going to be all the way to about, let's say UK time. So I'm going to be going 11 a.m. my time. Yeah, as usual. Then I'll go all the way to about 6 p.m. my time. So that's why it will be. In the Middle East, guys, anger issues are also lots of different types. So I mean anger issues on yourself, on others. I mean anger issues. Anger issues are also of different types. So issues are on yourself or on others. I mean, anger issues comes from experience as well, Mad Advanced. It comes from experience, the way you've been raised. At the end of the day, you have to learn about a person and their personality, where they've been, where they come from. I was a kickboxer for 8 years, a kickboxer, right? Yeah, and at the end of the day, I used to let my anger out in the gym, and that's what I used to do. And it's nothing to do with that. I'm a nice guy. Yeah, I'm a kind guy, a generous guy. But you know what? If someone steps over the line, really steps over the line, then I let them know about it. And that is the way I am. I do let them know about it. It's nothing about I'll just go up to you. I hate you. No, I'm not like that. No, I'm a nice guy. But the thing is, perhaps I'm too nice sometimes. But the thing is that when someone steps the line, then you know what? That's it. For example, I'll give you an example. I went to a phone shop the other day, right? A year ago, I went to a phone shop, right? And in that package of the phone contract that I got for my wife got for herself. I didn't get it for her, sorry. That she got for herself. They offered her a package. They offered her BN Sports and that. I already have BN Sports and stuff anyway, but they offered her free BN Sports for 3 years. They offered 3 months, sorry. They offered her this amount of calls. They offered her this, that. They offered her a great package. It was lovely. It was enticing, right? They also offered her unlimited data. When we got the contract, right, the data was 50 gig. Yeah? There was no free BN Sports. There was nothing like that. So when we went, okay, they probably made a mistake. So let's go back to the mall. So we drove all the way back to the mall, and we went to them and said, guys, look, you know what? I think you made a mistake on that. They denied it. Right now, I'm in the UAE. I can't. It's very strict here. So I would say something like, you know what I mean? Like, mate, you said it to us. We were there. You said it. You lied to us, basically, to get us into getting that contract. Oh, no, I didn't know. And he's looking away. He's looking away like that. I said, mate, you're absolutely unprofessional. You know, you're a disgrace. You know, no wonder if you ever came to Europe, you would never work there because you don't know what you're doing. And you know what? I let it out on him, you know, and that sort of thing. But it took about half an hour before I did that, right? And at the end of the day, you know what? It's not about, you know what, I'm this and that. You know, everyone is different. As I said, everyone is different, of course. Jim, had a moment of shopping center today. I asked a lady in a grocery store to help me find something. She did not want to help. She had a rude face and spoke abruptly. I said, have a great day. That's different, Jim. That's different. You know what I mean? That's nothing. That's trivial. I mean, I know it annoys people when people do that, but that's trivial. I don't get angry for them and things like that. I'm talking about when people say something about a relative of yours or your mum or your dad and say this, or become aggressive if you verbally. If someone's aggressive for you verbally, if someone comes in your face, it's different than someone say they're blanking you. You know what I mean? It's something like that, if you know what I mean. No to domestic violence. Absolutely. Sorry, what's your time? In regards to what, Kazi? What my time in regards to what? What do you mean? Today it's 12:26 right now in the PM. Yeah, it's 12:26. Yeah. I'm doing a watch along tonight, 7:30 p.m. UK time. I'm doing that tonight, guys. So don't forget, don't miss out on that, my friends. Don't miss out on that, of course. I hope your channel reaches 100k for. I mean, I doubt it. G Mad Advanced here. Thank you, though, my friend. But you know what? I'm not going to stop until I get there. I'm not going to stop till I get there. I'm not going to give up, guys. Absolutely not. I will not give up. I will not give up. No, I don't eat many spices anymore. I used to when I was younger, GK. When I was young, I used to eat spices. My mother used to cook curry, so you know, I used to eat a lot of spices. Big up. I remember getting beaten up when I was 5th grade and for 10, 11th grade kids. And my mistake was I complained to the teacher that they were smoking cigarettes and the boys got angry. Yeah, there's no justification for that. Again, there's no justification for that. It needs, at the end of the day, they're just bullies. And one thing I've been against my whole life is bullies, right? I've always been the kind of guy to stick up for the person who's been bullied, right? I was a quiet lad when I was younger, and you know, I've always stood up for people. I've always stood up for the underdog, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? And I would never condone that, you know, but I would never slander someone or anything like that if they stick up for their honor. For example, Mad Advanced Sid, if you stood up for your honor, if you did something to those guys, if they were trying to hurt you, then you perfectly in the right frame. You could do that. I would say that, but I'm not condoning anything. And the thing I would say is that these are all hypothetical scenarios that, you know what, I would react to. I would react to that in a different way. And we all react to things in a different way, of course. But I'm sorry that happened to you, Mad Advanced. I'm really sorry, but you're a nice guy. You deserve better. Jim Watkins, good. And how was your day? Big up, Jim. Big up, Mad Advanced. I really hope Amorim can play 90 minutes into the game of these 30-minute where we play well and then told habits. Yeah, I agree. Get into old habits. Yeah, the mentality of these players is frustrating. And this is one thing I worry about, LT, is these players. I mean, can these players perform for 90 minutes? When's the last time we saw these players perform for 90 minutes? When do you think it was? When do you think it was? When do you see those? Big up, Jim. Much love to you, brother. You know what I mean? Much love. Just conversations we're having compared to being you, though, through you are % right. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim. But you know what? So are you. We're all right in our own way. We're all different intricacies of energy, guys. That's what I say. Imagine we bought 90 million Anthony. We should fight. Anthony's just been a flop so far, unfortunately. The Glazers, yeah. Big up. Still, though, a small thing. It's good to show kindness. Yeah, I'm very kind, my friend. For example, defending your honor and kindness are two different things, completely different sides of things, right? For me, if someone was rude to me in a mall or on the street, in a supermarket, it's duck off a water's back. It's water off a duck's back. It's water off a duck's back for me. And the thing is that don't bother me because I worked in a very hostile place for many years. insecurity and stuff, and I've had a lot of abuse. So it's water off a duck's back. But one thing, if someone comes in my face and says, I'm going to do this to you, your mother is this, it's different. It's different. That has nothing to do with kindness at all. For me, the way I am, it would be awful for me not to respond. If someone came up to my wife, right, and said, you are this, you are that, it's up to me to respond. And that is how I am. Nobody's perfect. Sal, yesterday I missed an open goal. Now I can't even judge Garnacho for his mistakes because I am a reason of arrival. Learn from your mistakes, my advanced. You've got to learn. You've got to learn from your mistakes. You'll get there in the end, my friend. You will get there in the end, my good old buddy. You'll get there. You'll learn. You'll get your revenge too, my advanced. Hopefully you will get your revenge. Hopefully you'll get your revenge, of course. I really do hope you'll get your revenge. Yeah, but one thing I would say, I worked in many places in life. I worked in a supermarket. I was a fishmonger. I was a butcher. I was a security guard. I've been a facilities officer. I've done a lot. I've been in music 20 years on top of that. And working in music, working with very arrogant people, very implosive people, and stuff like that. Famous people, very famous people, not so known people who are humble, famous people who are humble, not known people who are egotistical. And I've come across a lot of that. So I've developed thick skin over my life, and at the end of the day, this is part of life at the end of the day. So yesterday, I feel, and big up Jim all day long, my legendary friend. Yeah, no problem, Jim. No problem. Thanks for letting me know, my friend. No problem at all. Chatterbox will be here later on, guys, at 2 p.m. I'll be on Chatterbox, guys, for the match build-up. Of course, countdown to kickoff is tonight, guys. Later on today at 2 p.m. UK time, guys. I'll be here live. Make sure you join me. At the end of the day, this is the place to be, guys. This is the place to be. And I'll tell you why this is the place to be. Because there's other people who just go online and read things on Google and just talk about reading things on Google. That's what they do. I don't do that. There's people who talk about transfers and call their shows the transfer update show, but have no contacts at all. They just read it off Google, right? And this is why you should be here, guys. You should be here on this stream because not only do I interact, I don't speak lies and stuff. I don't make up things that are on Google and stuff. And I read and I pretend I know this agent, that agent, and pretend I was an agent myself. I don't do that. I've never done that. I have my contacts. I have everything people I know. And that is how it is with me. So this is the place to be, my friends. And I respect every single one of you who join me on this show. You're absolute legends. I hope the City game against showed us that the players is now on them. And if they continue criminal performances, there is no matter. LT, spot on, my friend, spot on. And that is exactly what I've been saying. And it's all on them now. It's all on them. They can't use any more excuses. Big up, LT. There you go. There you go. Explosion for LT. Very good comment there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Big up. Thanks, Jim, for your time, my friend. Jim, you legend. You are a legend as well. Much love all day. Big up, Elite. Big up, everyone. Big up, LT. Big up, everyone, of course, guys. You know what? It's going to be a long day for me. I've got the Chatterbox later on, and then I've got the watch along later on as well, guys. So it's going to be a long day. You know what? It's a blessing. At the end of the day, it's a blessing. And you know what? It's going to be good, guys. And you know what? One thing I would say is that, this conversation on this stream, we go all different directions. Mainly it's about football. We do talk a lot about football. It is a football channel, but I'm all open to people talking to me and stuff like that. You're absolutely welcome to talk to me about anything you want to talk about at the end of the day. I will give you the transfer news, the legitimate transfer news here on this show. You know what I mean? I won't sit in other places and pretend I know. You know what I mean? I don't do that. And that's what I would say about it. I don't latch on to other channels and let them diss me and stuff to try and get clout. I don't do that. I've never been on that level, guys. It's all about, you know what I mean, being yourself and building your own community by yourself. And that's what I've been doing. And I've got a fantastic community here. I've got people like Jim, who I never knew in my life, but now in my old age, I've got to know Jim. I didn't think he existed before. Jim didn't think I existed before. But one thing is for certain, We do know each other now because of this fantastic community. Of course, playing some Connect 4 online. I was like, I'm going to learn that, Jim. Absolutely. I'm going to learn it. Big up, Jim. Big up, Sal. Thanks for the Real Talk, our great club. Big up, LT. Big up yourselves, everyone, guys. It's been a fantastic show. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. A nice long show, 1 hour and a half, guys. 1 hour, over 1 hour and a half. It's been a brilliant show. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. I'll be back later on for Chatterbox, of course, at 2 p.m. You have a fantastic day. You know what? It's all about supporting each other. And you know what? I thank you, every single one of you, for supporting me. And you know what? Glory, glory, Man United. Today is the day. We're going to show ourselves. We said that a lot, haven't we, over the last few months? Today is the day. It has to be the day now, don't it? We're going to beat 4-2. We're going to beat Poak 4-2, guys. It's going to be 4-2. That is my prediction, guys. I said it yesterday. That's my prediction. I'm sticking with it. I'm not going to flip-flop from it. Absolutely not. Some people say 5-0. I'll take that all day long, guys. I'll take that all day long. Some people say 5-0. I'm taking 4-2. Have a fantastic afternoon, guys. Morning, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. God bless you. And have a great day. Peace.